Someone is watching you right now, not with their eyes, with their emotions. They're waiting for you to react, to get angry, to break, to expose yourself. And if you do, they win. Here's the truth. The most dangerous person in any room isn't the loudest one. It's the one who feels everything and shows nothing. That person controls every conversation they walk into, every relationship, every situation. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how they do it. Stay with me, because later in this video, I'm going to reveal the one thing that makes emotionally controlled people practically impossible to manipulate. Most people never figure this out, ever. You've been told your whole life that being emotional makes you human, and that's true. But here's what nobody told you. Uncontrolled emotion makes you a target. Every time you react without thinking, you hand someone a map to your weaknesses. You show them exactly what triggers you, what scares you, what breaks you. And some people, the calculated ones, the ones who've studied human behavior, they collect that information like ammunition. They save it, and they use it. This video is about taking that power back. Most people think emotional control means not feeling anything. Cold, robotic, shut down. That's wrong. Emotional control isn't about becoming empty. It's about becoming unreadable. There's a difference. A lion isn't afraid to feel hunger. It just doesn't chase every piece of meat in front of it. It waits. It calculates. It moves only when the moment is right. That's emotional control. Machiavelli said it plainly. He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still. Think about every argument you've ever lost. Every time someone got under your skin and you said something you regretted. Every moment where you exploded. And then watch the other person walk away smirking. You didn't lose because you were wrong. You lost because you reacted. And the moment you reacted, you gave them control of the entire situation. Let me say that again. The moment you react, you lose. Not because your emotions are wrong, but because your reaction became the story, not the truth, not the facts, not what they did to you, your reaction. That's what people remember. That's what they judge. That's what gets used against you. If you've been through this, you know the feeling. You're in a conversation. Everything feels calm, normal even. And then, out of nowhere, they say something. A small jab, a condescending comment, a subtle dig at your intelligence, your choices, your worth. And something inside you ignites. Your chest tightens. Your voice changes. Your hands might even shake. That's not an accident. They planned that moment. Manipulators. Whether they're a toxic partner, a coworker, a friend who isn't really a friend. They study you. They run tests on you. Small ones at first. They poke at different spots until they find the button that makes you go off. And once they find it, they own you. They'll use it in public to humiliate you, in private to control you, in arguments to make you look unstable. They won't admit it, but this is a strategy, a calculated, cold strategy to make you the emotional one in every situation. Because as long as you're emotional, they look like the calm, reasonable one. And the calm one always wins the room. Here's something most people never see. When you stay calm in a situation designed to make you react, something happens in the other person's mind. They panic. Because the whole plan was built on your reaction. They expected the explosion. They needed it. That was the payoff. And when it doesn't come, their power disappears. They have to recalculate. They start second-guessing. They wonder, did that land? Do they even care? What are they thinking? Now you are the mystery. And in human psychology, the mysterious one holds the power. always. Think about the people you've respected most in your life, the ones who made you feel small in the best possible way. Not through aggression, but through composure. They didn't raise their voice. They didn't argue back. They just looked at you, quietly, steadily, and something in you knew. This person cannot be moved. That is dominance, not the kind that screams, the kind that doesn't need to. Here's the truth that changes everything. Status in any social situation, in your workplace, your relationships, your family, is almost never determined by who's smartest or who's right. It's determined by who stays calm when things get tense. There's actual psychology behind this. It's called affect control theory. Your emotional display signals your position. When you react emotionally, you're subconsciously communicating. This situation is bigger than me. When you stay composed, you communicate. I am bigger than this situation. People feel that, even if they can't explain it. The person who doesn't flinch, who doesn't rush to defend themselves, who pauses before they speak. That person commands the room without ever asking for it. Most people never see this. But this is why some people walk into rooms and immediately shift the energy. Not because they're louder, not because they're more attractive or more accomplished, but because they carry themselves like nothing can break them. And honestly, nothing can, because they've done the hard work of mastering themselves first. Now here's the part most videos skip. They'll tell you to stay calm. They'll tell you to control your emotions, but they won't tell you how. So let's actually go there. Emotional control isn't built in the moment. It's built before the moment. It's built through something called emotional distance, a practiced mental habit where you observe your emotions instead of becoming them. Here's what that looks like in real life. Someone says something that makes your blood boil. Your body reacts, the heat, the tightness, the urge to fire back. Instead of going with it, you pause. You observe. I'm angry right now. Not I am anger. That one shift from being your emotion to watching your emotion creates a gap. And in that gap lives your power. That gap is where your response lives instead of your reaction. Viktor Frankl, one of the greatest psychological minds of the 20th century, said this: between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space is what you're training when you practice emotional control. And the more you train it, the wider it gets. Until one day, someone tries their hardest to break you. And you look at them, and you feel almost nothing. Not because you're cold, but because you're free. Here's where this gets really interesting. When you become emotionally controlled, something almost unfair starts to happen. You start to see other people's emotional patterns clearly, because you're no longer caught up in your own. You notice the micro-expressions, the tension in someone's jaw when they're lying, the slight change in tone when they're trying to manipulate, the over-explanation that signals guilt. You become, in the truest sense, a reader of people. And here's the thing about being able to read people. You can't be easily played, because the game only works on people who don't know it's being played. But you see the whole board. They won't admit it, but the people who try to manipulate you are terrified of this version of you. Because now their tools don't work. The provocation doesn't land. The guilt trip bounces off. The sudden rage doesn't shake you. And someone who can't be shaken can't be controlled. Here's the truth that almost nobody is willing to sit with. Most people are not actually afraid of other people. They're afraid of their own emotional reactions to other people. That's the real prison, not the boss who disrespects you, not the partner who dismisses you, not the friend who betrays you, but your response to them, the rage, the need to prove yourself, the desperation to be understood. That's the chain around your ankle. Because the moment you're no longer afraid of your own emotions, you're no longer afraid of the people who use those emotions against you. You stop chasing their approval. You stop trying to win arguments. You stop needing to be understood by people who pretend not to understand. You just move, silently, purposefully, powerfully, like someone who has already won. If you've been through this, you know the feeling of finally seeing the pattern, of looking back at the people who manipulated you and understanding with complete clarity that their power was never real. It was borrowed from your reactions, and now you're taking it back. Most people will watch this video, feel something for a few minutes, and then go back to reacting the same way they always have. The same anger, the same panic, the same desperate need to be heard by people who never had any intention of hearing them. Don't be that person. You now understand something that most people spend their whole lives never figuring out. Emotional control isn't a coping mechanism. It's not therapy speak. It's not weakness dressed up as peace. It is the single most dangerous thing you can develop. Because the person who controls their emotions controls the room, controls the narrative, controls the outcome, and the person who controls all of that controls the game. So let me leave you with this one question. If you stopped reacting completely, starting today, how many people in your life would suddenly lose all power over you? Sit with that. We've only scratched the surface. Watch this next. I'll show you exactly how silence becomes the most powerful thing you can say. Don't miss it.